If you want to improve English speaking skills and become an advanced English speaker at C1 English or C2 English level, you need to know these secrets of the past tenses. Secret 1 is the past simple shows an idea is no longer true. First, let's revise the main uses of the past simple, and then let me introduce this secret to you. The past simple is normally used to indicate finished time. For example, they visited London last summer. So the activity is finished. It happened last summer and it ended last summer. It's finished time, so we use the past simple. It's also used for past routines. And this is usually with a time phrase. So we went to school every day. So this indicates it's a routine. It happened again and again and again in the past. It's one of the ways to make routines in the past. There are other ways. There are other uses of past simple. These sum up the main uses, but there's one more that I'm going to explain now through using these healthy drinks. Or are they healthy drinks? The drink on the left is cola, and sometimes people drink diet cola or diet Coke. Now, in the 1970s, this was thought to be a healthy alternative to Coke with lots of sugar in. Diet Cola had no sugar, had some alternatives, whereas normal Coke had lots of sugar. So people said, yes, this diet cola is healthy. People also said that orange or apple juice was healthy too. But something's changed recently, hasn't it? Lots of people have been saying this. Low sugar drinks are a health risk. The things we use instead of sugar are also bad for you. Oh no, what a shame. So in 2023, people say, no, Diet Cola is not a healthy drink, but orange or apple juice is still a healthy drink. So how do we describe these ideas? For the cola, people thought cola was healthy. People think juice is healthy. Why the difference? Well, if the idea is no longer true, we use the past simple to show that the idea is not true. It was true in the past, but it's not true now. However, with the juice, people still think the idea is true. So we use the present simple for this. And so let's add that to our list of main uses of the past simple. Finished time, past routines with a time phrase, and ideas that are no longer true. Secret 2 is that the past continuous sets the scene. Now, the main uses of the past continuous are long activities. So she was writing her essay during the break. Writing an essay, it's always a long activity. It's never short, is it? So the past continuous makes sense here. Or if one activity is interrupted by another, the longer one normally is in the past continuous. So I was washing the dishes when the phone rang. Which one is longer? Well, normally the washing the dishes, unless you're very fast, washing the dishes is normally longer than the phone ringing. So we use the past continuous for I was washing. But let me introduce you to another important use of the past continuous. Have you ever seen a dog walking or running like this? If you wanted to tell a story about this picture, you might do this. The dog went for a walk. So far, so good. But how do we then explain more about what's going on? Well, we could say this. The wind was blowing hard. Look at the leaves moving. The wind must be blowing very hard for this to happen. And we could also say the leaves were falling to the ground. Now, notice the difference here. The dog went for a walk, past simple. The wind was blowing hard, past continuous. The leaves were falling to the ground. Also past continuous. Why? And you could even say the sun was shining. But hold on a minute. Isn't that a permanent thing? Isn't that something that always happens? Shouldn't we use the past simple for that? Well, there's a very simple reason. The past continuous sets the scene. It gives you the experience of being there. What the writer of this story is doing is that they are trying to make you imagine that you are in this place at that moment in the past. And of course, the continuous tense is used to describe what is happening now. So the writer takes you into the past and tells you this is what is happening at that time, or this is what would have been happening if you had been there at that time. He tries to put you there and imagine this. If you were saying what's happening now, you would say these things. And that's why they use the past continuous for setting the scene in stories. Secret 3, the past simple shows events are in time order. Rupert, isn't this obvious? Well, it's not completely obvious, and I'll show you why in a moment. Let me take you through one story spoken about in two ways to explain why. First of all, look at the first picture. It's 5 o'clock. The lady does this. She says, I left work. Next, I went to the shops. Notice it's 6 o'clock here. It's after 5 o'clock. And then finally, after I went home at 7 o'clock. Now notice here, the events are in time order. First of all, we talk about 5 o'clock. I left work. Then we talk about 6 o'clock. I went to the shops. Then we talk about 7 o'clock. I went home. The events are in time order and we use the past simple when that happens. But what if the events are not in time order? Well, here we will do something different. And let me take you through the same story, but this time, notice there's a change in the order. But I'm still going to start at the same place with this one. I left work. But this time I left work at 6 o'clock. After I went home. That was 7 o'clock. So again, the events are in order. I left work at 6 o'clock. Then I went home. But now I need to explain why I went home and didn't go to the shops. And there's a reason. Because at 5 o'clock, I had already been to the shop, so I didn't need to. I went home because I'd already been to the shops. I had my food for the evening. Look at the order of events here. The first part of the story is in time order. We go from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock. I left work. I went home. Events in time order. But then we go back in time to explain the reason for something I did. I had already been to the shop. So past perfect, I had and then already been. So here, the events are not in time order. And to show the events are not in time order, we use the past perfect. So it's an important difference, not sometimes spoken about, between the past simple and the past perfect. The past simple, the events are nicely in order. In the past perfect, we're showing that events are not in the correct order. We're introducing something that's further back in the past than we are in terms of than we are at in the time of the story. Those are some useful secrets for you if you are learning the past tenses and want to learn them in advanced detail. Check out the links to my Udemy course in the description or click on some of the links you can see on the screen now.